Hello and welcome back to 2K14 Universe. I'm Jitch and you're watching Friday Night SmackDown, where the game is probably going to crash halfway through his intro. That's my prediction. Well, maybe not, actually. I did it quite recently. We'll see. Come on, Justin, introduce him already. Jeez. Get on with it. Wow, that is a long intro, huh? Anyway, so Hardcore Championship is on the line to start things off with SmackDown. We've got 2 title matches tonight, tag team titles in the main event.
And introducing the challenger from Charlotte, North Carolina, weighing 235 pounds, Truth.
But man, WrestleMania is just a few weeks away, and we have been told that the Hardcore Championship, much like the European Championship, will be defended in a multi-man match. It won't be a 6-man ladder match. There's no decision yet on what it will be, but there will be some kind of multi-man match to give some superstars a potential WrestleMania moment. And it could be that these two are both in that Hardcore Championship match as well. Ryback could even be walking into it. The former Hardcore Champion. Look at the gold. That's what it's all about. I have to say that. It's a tradition. Is he going to say it? He's not going to say anything. What a lame introduction. Well, SmackDown time, folks. This is a big show tonight. Got some great matches coming your way. So here we go. Ryback, R-Truth, starting things off one-on-one. And yeah, we are just 4 more SmackDowns after tonight until this season has come to an end. I think I might have to just predict that the game is going to crash every time. See, I think the way 2K14 works is it's based off reverse psychology. So the more I say I hate this game, it's not going to try and win me over. It's going to make it worse. So I got to pretend that I love all the stupid shit this game does. That's going to be very difficult, but I'll try. The truth has set him free. Well, anyway, yeah, so our main event tonight, the Coalition will be defending the World Tag Team Championships against the Brothers of Destruction. This will definitely be their toughest challenge yet, and obviously, if you didn't see this Monday's Raw, well, I mean, you might not have. I was gonna say like, you know, maybe you should, but no, you know, maybe you just don't want to watch Raw. That's fine. Well, Chris Jericho made his decision to close out Raw. He attacked Dean Ambrose wearing his WWE Championship, and it is now abundant that Chris Jericho will no longer be here on SmackDown on the road to WrestleMania. The Royal Rumble winner has selected the WWE Championship, and it is with that knowledge that I can actually say Jericho has given his reason to why, and that is that he says, why waste his time here on SmackDown with a bunch of superstars he's already beaten time and time again. He literally ran the first ever World Heavyweight Champion out of SmackDown for some time. He ran Kane out of SmackDown for some time. He's got nothing to prove here. So Chris Jericho says it's time that he went over to Monday Night Raw, where some fresh-faced nobody that is infinitely below him is already holding a world title when Jericho isn't, because that makes Jericho sick. And of course he's talking about Dean Ambrose, who he set his sights on. So I hope Jericho's got some friends over on Raw, because Ambrose definitely does, and they are pretty damn dangerous too. The Shield are ready, I'd imagine, for the numbers. Sorry, for Chris Jericho and for his comeuppance this Monday on Raw. But with that, we now know that Edge, the King of the Ring, will meet John Cena for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. This is Edge's moment to finally get that redemption, to get back on top. and win the World Heavyweight Championship once again. Also, can we take a minute to appreciate how painfully stupid the AI is being right now? At least with R-Truth, walking into the ring for a period of time is at least in character, even if the game isn't smart enough for that.
Wild strike misses the target.
Could you imagine if they actually like had they would never, but if they put the effort in to have like R-Truth behave more like he does on TV. You know, like how WrestleMania 40 he was in that multi-man ladder match and he was like calling for a tag during it and then going for a pin in the ladder match. You know, spots like that. Imagine if they actually put in the game for Truth to do that kind of thing. They wouldn't. They absolutely never would, because that would be putting effort into any characters to make them unique and not just, you know, whatever. So yeah, that ain't happening. But you know, it's a fun idea. So anyway, R-Truth continuing to walk into the ring here as Ryback. Okay, yeah. Well, I guess this really was like a bad match. Just to be honest, if that's it, which it probably is. That was not a very good match at all. That was the AI at its absolute worst. Holy shit, that sucked. I don't even know what happened there.
Here is your winner, and still the hardcore champion, Ryback.
Well, we still got another 12 more episodes following this until WrestleMania. So that's 12 more episodes of Raw, NXT, and SmackDown combined, where the AI is going to go all out stupid to close out the season. Cannot wait to see what else we are shoveled on tonight on SmackDown as we move on. Okay, we are back here on SmackDown as Robert Scorpio prepares to try and best the World Heavyweight Champion.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from the United Kingdom, Robert Scorpio.
The last time these two faced off, Scorpio got probably the biggest upset of his career, actually. I was about to say a upset, but no, honestly, that was probably, also that'd be an if you want to be grammatically correct. That would probably be the biggest upset of his career. Honestly, he beat John Cena, and then Cena went on to become World Heavyweight Champion. So I understand why Scorpio feels that he has the right to challenge John Cena here tonight. Obviously, he can't go for his championship. That is completely out of the question until after WrestleMania. But imagine if Scorpio can get a second victory over Cena, especially now with Cena holding the World Heavyweight Championship. I know right now Scorpio's sights are set on the Hardcore Championship. They're set on Ryback, I imagine. Yeah, he'll do whatever he can to get into a WrestleMania match with Ryback for that Hardcore title. But another win over John Cena, especially on the road to WrestleMania, would be huge. Cena became the first superstar since, I believe, Mark Henry retained in a rematch against CM Punk back in November to retain the World Heavyweight title. The curse is over. But the timing of the curse being over may be very unfortunate for his opponent at WrestleMania, the King of the Ring, Edge, who is set to face off against John Cena for the World Heavyweight Championship now at WrestleMania. That is undeniably going to have to headline that show. That has got to be the top match on the show. John Cena, Edge, World Heavyweight title on the line. I can't think of a bigger match, honestly. And the fans agree.
strike doesn't find a home.
John Cena gonna go toe-to-toe with Robert Scorpio here tonight, and this should make for an interesting matchup, truth be told. I'm curious to find out who comes out, ooh, with the upper hand. Is Scorpio taller than Cena? That doesn't seem right. How tall is Cena? Let me look this up. How tall is John Cena? Because he looks taller than him, and that should not be right. Scorpio is loosely based on me and my height. It's 5'9". Cena's 6'1". What? Why does he look taller than him? I don't understand. Oh, who knows? Or maybe he's not. Okay. I guess it was just perspective. I don't know. Anyway, yes, John Cena getting ready to face off against Edge at WrestleMania, and Edge will be getting ready for Cena, to say the least, as he faces off against Triple H later on tonight. Triple H, of course, was the World Heavyweight Champion walking in to last year's WrestleMania. This year, he is not currently scheduled for a match at WrestleMania. I'm curious to find out exactly what he plans to do about that, really. Neck breaker there by Robert Scorpio, and he's getting his moves in as best as he can here. A big right hand attempt there by John Cena, but Scorpio takes him down. And ooh, big leaping knee drop. And in a way, I imagine John Cena, well, actually, I was about to say, I imagine John Cena is probably glad, probably a little disappointed that Jericho didn't pick him at WrestleMania, because it would have been a real easy title defense for John Cena to go and defeat Jericho at the top of WrestleMania. But at the same time, I feel like John Cena probably likes the challenge. He probably welcomes the challenge, and him and Edge, I think, are going to have a great WrestleMania match. It's actually shocking to me that, little side note for you here. I don't believe, despite how, like, iconic to the Ruthless Aggression era, Cena and Edge's feud, well, the late Ruthless Aggression era, Cena and Edge's feud is, I don't actually think they had a Mania match. Their feud started right before Mania, and then they immediately pulled the title off of Edge, and they had him fight Mick Foley instead. That was just before Mania 22, my first Mania. And then 23, Cena faced... I'm actually really curious. I want to think about this for a minute. And then 23, Cena faced, I think that's Triple H. And then 24 was the triple threat, Triple H and Orton, where they debuted the punt kick, which Cena, like, immediately buried the very next night on Raw. I'm glad the punt kick survived that, because I'm pretty sure there was a promo where he was like, and what did you do to win? You won with a kick. It's like, it was supposed to be like a devastating kick, though. And DDT through the table for Scorpio. More hardcore than the hardcore title match just was. Already. Imagine that. Yeah, and then, well, I mean, 25 they had a Mania match, but it involved Big Show. Just, yeah, as I was going through them, I just remembered that, yes, they did have a triple threat match, but it was also with Big Show, which I would say doesn't count. I would say if there's someone else involved, it doesn't necessarily feel like a big part of the rivalry. Also, by Mania 25, those two really weren't much of a rivalry at that point, if I'm not mistaken. Mania 25 time is some of the worst years of all time, though. Vicky Guerrero. I don't need to say anymore. John Cena scooping up Robert Scorpio. And an attitude adjustment. Middle of the ring, that's got to be it. World champ coming out on top. There you go. Honestly, as it should be. I'd love to see Scorpio succeed further down the line, but this was not the night. John Cena is 5 weeks away from facing an extremely hungry Edge for the World Heavyweight Championship, and he needs win after win after win on the road to WrestleMania, as does Edge. He cannot afford to fail against Triple H tonight. Congrats to John Cena on this victory. As we move on, up next, Mark Henry goes one-on-one with Wade Barrett. These two collided in the Elimination Chamber. Right now, there's not a lot in the sights for them heading into WrestleMania. And we'll find out more about what exactly is going to go down here tonight between those two up next.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from Manchester, England, weighing 246 pounds, Barrett.
Well, Wade Barrett, everybody, had a great showing in the Elimination Chamber. I don't think maybe he did make it kind of far. I don't remember anymore, but he was in the Elimination Chamber. He competed for the World Championship and an opportunity to go into WrestleMania with the world title, and he did unfortunately come up short in the end, but I feel like he had a good showing, to my memory. I think he was out first, actually, if I'm not mistaken, but, you know, he still had a good showing in there. He lasted a good long while before being eliminated. And here tonight, he is set to go up against Mark Henry. And initially, to my understanding, this was potentially
Approaching the ring from Silsbee, Texas, weighing 418 pounds, the world's strongest man, Mark Henry.
There was potentially a match with Intercontinental Championship implications. Obviously, Andre the Giant does need to defend that championship at WrestleMania, but Paul Heyman, the SmackDown general manager, has recently said that Andre the Giant has had a path of dominance, and he truly is one of the greatest superstars on SmackDown. But Paul Heyman is aware that there is someone equally as great, and he says that he is declaring that this man gets an opportunity at the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania should he win a contenders match in the near future, but he won't disclose who it is that he's talking about, just that he has strong belief in them. So, Paul Heyman has got his eyes on someone who could be challenging Andre the Giant for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania, and I'm curious to find out who it is that Paul Heyman has sought out. It doesn't matter who it is, truthfully. If you're not getting through Andre the Giant, you got Bobby Heenan at ringside as well. That is a hard duo to beat on any given night. But I imagine opportunity awaits for these two as well. Of course, there is the Hardcore Championship that will be defended at WrestleMania. And right now, we don't necessarily have a World Tag Team title match locked in either. So if you're looking for a championship match at WrestleMania, there's two right there. I tell you, Barrett, whether he likes to hear it or not, there is someone that he has a lot of potential to reunite with, to team with. And I'm talking about Sheamus. I think those two would make for a great tag team on SmackDown. I know Sheamus has fallen on some hard times lately. He seems to be struggling to pick up wins recently, but I truthfully feel that Sheamus could bounce back in the corner of Wade Barrett. Say what you will, but I'd say Wade Barrett made Justin Gabriel and David Otunga relevant on NXT. I think as time has passed, it's safe to say that Barrett is a good leader, just as well as Sheamus is, and I feel like those two as equals in just a tag team, not a faction, not the United Kingdom again, but just the two of them as an equal pairing. I think two supreme leaders would make for a great tag team. I thought we were going to see a World's Strongest Slam for a minute there. Mark Henry must have been thinking about it. Well, up next, Edge goes one-on-one with Triple H, and of course the King of the Ring, I cannot imagine, is feeling too spectacular walking into the ring here tonight. In one sense, emotionally, absolutely. He's got to be on top of the world. He's getting a world title opportunity at WrestleMania for the championship he only held for about a minute. But he's got to get through John Cena. I feel like that's going to be extremely difficult for Edge to overcome at WrestleMania, and I'm curious to find out how that one plays out. I feel like that, as I said before, is absolutely worthy to be the main event of WrestleMania. There's no hate towards Dean Ambrose, the WWE champion, but I feel like him and Jericho, as great of a match as that could be, I feel like Edge's story here with John Cena, this is big. This deserves the top spot at WrestleMania, and I think hopefully a lot of people would agree with me.
thousands and thousands of WWE fans in attendance. Each and every one of
Mark
them.
Henry with a side suplex takes down Wade Barrett. Great speed and great strength. Mark Henry is an absolute total package. And he gets the 1 count there. And I hear there's been some kind of special match brewing. We've not really heard much about here on SmackDown. Which is interesting. Raw was recently teasing a great match potential. Oh! On Raw, without saying what it was. Now SmackDown is also teasing a match of their own that is extra special, and I don't know what either of these could be. If we could just get a little bit of a hint as to what it could be, I'd be very interested in finding out. Wade Barrett, oh, slap across the back of the head of Mark Henry. And a belly-to-belly launches Mark Henry across the ring. I mean, I'd hope both brands have a lot of great matches cooking up. WrestleMania is getting very close, and obviously it's where the biggest and the best shine. Mark Henry, of course, got to walk into him a few times, then to kick out. Very nice of you. Show 1 count there. Having a little bit of a stare down for a moment there between the two of them. And that main event tonight, I'm so interested in. The World Tag Team titles on the line. The Coalition. They made this match themselves when they attacked the Brothers of Destruction at Elimination Chamber. You're going to call it King of the Ring because there was a King of the Ring tournament, but the event itself was Elimination Chamber. Wins a change by Wade Barrett on Mark Henry, only a 1. And Wade Barrett with a bull hammer. That knocks out a lot of people, but I don't know if that's going to be enough to knock out Mark Henry. No. That is a great move. But, oh my god. Oh my god. World's strongest slam. Mark Henry goes in for the cover here on Wade Barrett. And it's still not over. I gotta tell you, honestly, this season I feel has really made... Oh, some stars out of my alarm going off. Has really made some stars out of these two in particular, actually. I'd say Henry more than Barrett, don't get me wrong. I'm not delusional, but I truthfully feel like both of these two this season have really impressed. I feel like they've really done something for themselves and their reputations, and I feel like you know, in the coming season, I hope they can keep that momentum going for them. Wade Barrett's momentum is very fresh. Obviously, Mark Henry started when he challenged CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship, and I feel like ever since then, he has been absolutely a top dog here on SmackDown. Although, honestly, historically looking at it, you know, his original group with him, Cena, Truth, Booker, and obviously everything that's come after that, including his many great matches with John Cena in the past, I feel like Henry has always been, oh my god, a top dog. To be fair, I feel like ever since he snapped when he lost MVP and he started getting a little serious, I feel like Henry has always been definitely worthy of recognition as a big deal, actually. It's just, I feel like he's that little bit more lately, ever since winning the World Heavyweight Championship. Of course, Henry is also an ECW World Champion. It's worth mentioning. I don't want to, you know, sidestep one of his huge accolades in his career. I think Barrett might have him. And he got him. But Wade Barrett just that little bit better here tonight as he gets the win over Mark Henry.
Here is your winner, Wade Barrett.
What an incredible match.
Well, I'm curious who could possibly be more deserving of an Intercontinental Championship opportunity than this man. I think this guy deserves another shot at Andre the Giant. He gave him such a run for his money. I would love to see those two face off once again for the Intercontinental Championship. And a win over Mark Henry here tonight is monumental. This is huge. Such a massive win to continue to add to the accolades of Wade Barrett. I'm telling you, Season 5, it's got to be a big time in Wade Barrett's career. Surely. Well, this ought to be an interesting matchup traditionally, I think a lot of people would see this in favor of Triple H, but Edge is on a different level right now. And I think Triple H may find that out the hard way. Or perhaps he won't. Maybe he'll just beat him. Listen, if Triple H beats Edge tonight, I can at least justify the fact that Edge cannot be 100% right now.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from Greenwich, Connecticut, weighing 255 pounds, the Gate Triple H.
One of the biggest superstars in sports entertainment, and the fans are showing their love.
So Triple H set to go one-on-one with Edge here tonight, the King of the Ring. And of course, Triple H wasn't in the King of the Ring tournament, but he was in the Elimination Chamber for the World Heavyweight Championship. In fact, I believe Triple H was in the final two for the Elimination Chamber. It came down to him and John Cena, and of course, TLC is where Cena beat Triple H to be named #1 contender. I'm going to just go ahead and cut it there. I'm sorry, that entrance takes so fucking long. I don't really feel like just watching Triple H pose for a million years. Get to the ring, cut it short. I think that's the way to go with that one sometimes. Just sometimes. We already have the Brothers of Destruction making their entrance tonight, alright? We've got a long enough entrance coming your way. Here he is. And what an ovation for the King of the Ring. I would say, arguably, in my opinion, the biggest win of last Sunday's Elimination Chamber event.
Approaching the ring from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, weighing 241 pounds, the rated R superstar, Edge.
I mean, the story is right there in front of you. It is poetic. It is perfectly laid out. Edge has been in pursuit of the World Heavyweight Championship that he only held for a few minutes 3 years ago. He's never held a World Championship since. And of course, he's also got that association with Bret Hart, who held that championship back at SummerSlam when Edge officiated. He counted the 3 count for Bret in a fair one-on-one match between Bret and Sandow. And the reason I bring that up, the reason that's relevant in this situation, is because it was the moment in which Bret Hart was taken out by Mark Henry. The Edge said, I want nothing more. I want nothing more than to overcome to overcome Mark Henry for that World Heavyweight Championship. Henry took Bret's career away from him when he was on top. He took away one of the best men here on the SmackDown roster, and Edge wants to make Mark Henry pay. He was hoping, he was praying that Mark Henry would be the World Heavyweight Champion walking into WrestleMania, so he could be the one to shut that reign down, but Henry is no longer the World Heavyweight Champion. And I guess, you know, as poetic and perfect as it would be to have taken that championship away from Mark Henry, Edge, but he just wants his hands on that World Heavyweight title, and right now John Cena has got exactly what Edge wants. And we saw how great Cena can be. That was a pretty straightforward victory for, sorry, I keep getting distracted by nothing. That was a pretty straightforward victory for John Cena earlier tonight over Robert Scorpio. And Edge is really here, not exactly like, you know, beat the clock style or anything, but Edge really, I think he needs to get a win over Triple H here tonight. He needs to impress, and he needs to let the world know that he is ready for the World Heavyweight Championship. And a win over Triple H, a win over the man who not only walked into WrestleMania with the World Heavyweight title last year, but walked out of WrestleMania with the World Heavyweight title. I think that is huge. That is exactly what Edge needs. Now, if you want to talk about statistics, because I know some people like to do this, the Royal Rumble winners, obviously we've only had 3 Royal Rumbles so far, so 66.6% chance of winning at WrestleMania for the Royal Rumble winner. The first 2 Royal Rumble winners, Christian and Batista in that order, went on to win at WrestleMania. The Christian won the WWE Championship, Batista won the World Heavyweight Championship. But last year at WrestleMania 3, Antonio Cesaro faced Triple H and was the first Royal Rumble winner to lose at WrestleMania. And that has obviously then staggered that statistic a little bit, less in the favor of Chris Jericho. Whereas the King of the Ring, We've only ever had one King of the Ring. It was last season. It was Sheamus. And he did not go on to win the World Heavyweight Championship from that. So if Edge wins at WrestleMania, he'll be the first superstar to win the King of the Ring tournament and then win the World Championship. Now, Sheamus's King of the Ring victory was actually towards the end of 2011. If you don't remember it that well. We are now at the start of 2013. That's fair enough. You know, this 1 year has seemingly took almost 2 whole years to finish, but we're getting there. But, you know, with the history of that that King of the Ring, I think this is big for Edge. I think this is something he really needs to try and prove to the world, is he's going to be not just the King of the Ring metaphorically and, you know, through the tournament, but literally he wants to rule that thing. He wants to be World Heavyweight Champion so bad. The time has come. You know, he's had some great matches. He's finally on top of the world as tag team champ. Ooh! Knee to the head of Triple H. I mean, Edge by Triple H. And the spine buster. Triple H. And here comes Christian. Edge's buddy coming out here to help out. And I mean, I don't know if this is necessarily what Edge is looking for. And yeah, I was going to say, Edge, I don't think he really wants Christian out here right now. Or perhaps he's hyped up to see his buddy in his corner. And now Triple H. Pedigree to Edge. But Christian has caught the attention of the game, and Triple H is distracted. And he can't afford to be. And there's history between Triple H and Christian. I mentioned this before. They were both in the first WrestleMania main event. Christian, the first ever Royal Rumble winner, and he went on to beat not just Triple H, but the defending champion Shawn Michaels and Batista at a 4-way to become the WWE champion. That was, honestly, I've mentioned this before, I'll mention it again, probably one of the biggest upset wins of all time. Really, really cemented the legacy of Christian, I would say. And obviously, I feel like it's been a long time since he's been in the sights of the World Championship, but he seems to be all here for his buddy Edge here tonight. Well, this does not help Triple H one bit, having Christian out here. But the thing is, this isn't what Edge wants either. Edge is all about proving himself right now, especially, you know, after the grueling matches that he had with CM Punk and Diesel in the King of the Ring tournament. Especially Diesel. Man, that was brutal. Leg sweep by Edge takes down Triple H. And the Rated R Superstar is positioning. He's looking to put this one to rest. Triple H caught with a spear. Edge into the cover. And is it going to be a victory for the King of the Ring? No! Triple H kicking out of the spear. Why would you... Why there? Why then? Christian just keeps getting up on that apron. I mean, this has got to be distracting for Edge. You know, Edge and Christian's tag team debut was actually against DX back at WrestleMania 2. That's where they began their historic record-setting reign as WWE Tag Team Champions. So there is definitely history in this ring tenfold right now. Edge holds a WrestleMania win over Triple H in that sense. And Christian holds a WrestleMania win twice over Triple H. So, yeah, that's pretty big for these guys, I'd say. WrestleMania 3 was actually Triple H's first Mania win. And right now, this year, he's not really looking to have anything going on for him at WrestleMania. Unless he's the man. But Paul Heyman was talking about to challenge Andre the Giant. Triple H for the Intercontinental Championship could be interesting. There's a lot of great superstars at SmackDown right now that aren't currently scheduled for WrestleMania. And that honestly just gets me more excited because it's like, well, how are they all going to fit into this suplex and into that cover? And Edge with another spear straight to Triple H. And it looks like Christian said, no, you got this, Edge. And he sure as hell does. Christian leaving ringside. Honestly, I think that's a nice little nod there. He's showing confidence in his partner. And Edge picking up an important win. Triple H. Oh, Triple H's music. What? Somebody play the wrong... Well, hold on. What the... Why have... Wait. Stop it. Stop it. What? This doesn't make sense. No. Oh, yeah, the history between Edge and his hatred for Mark Henry. Fuck off. Alright, it is time for our main event. The World Tag Titles are on the line, and I hope these two realize what they've signed up for.
Is scheduled for one fall. Championship. On the way to the ring, representing the coalition from Palo Alto, California, weighing 247 pounds, he is one half of the World Tag Team Champions. The self-professed intellectual savior of the masses, Damien Sandow.
When questioned on why these two targeted the Brothers of Destruction this past Sunday at Elimination Chamber, Damien Sandow said it wasn't my choice. This was a decision made by Scott Steiner to prove that we are the greatest tag team of all time. And I simply went along with it because sometimes, although I am the brains of the team, the brawn just has something to prove. So it sounds to me like Sandow is not necessarily on board with this idea.
And his tag team partner, representing the coalition from Detroit, Michigan, weighing 276 pounds, he is one half of the World Tag Team Champions, Scott Steiner.
Scott Steiner, of course, very prepped up. He has had a phenomenal season, honestly, since his debut. This guy has been incredible. And that World Tag Team Championship has sat firmly around his waist. No one has been able to stop these guys. But I will say these two have never crossed a team quite like the Brothers of Destruction. And that is going to be interesting to find out how that plays out here tonight. As great as these two have been, they're going up against two former world champions, two former holders of those tag team championships. The Brothers of Destruction are just no joke. No way. And this is the first time we'll have seen this sight in a long time. But finally, since August, since SummerSlam when Kane was stolen away, these two are on the same page again.
And The Undertaker and Kane, the Brothers of Destruction.
I mentioned this before, but I'll mention it again. The moment Undertaker locked in the Hell's Gate, he claims something was freed from inside of Kane. Something changed. And I have a message here. A message for them. I don't know where this came from, but it says, "Are you familiar with the phrase, do unto others? I did to Kane what he did to me. He set me free. He made me who I have become today. I hope to do the same to him, but you, Undertaker, you stole him away from me. We could have been family, but I guess maybe it's true that blood really is thicker than water. Well, we'll find out soon enough if that was the right decision, Kane, because soon your family will meet my family." I don't know where this came from. I don't know who sent this in. We have a message for the Brothers of Destruction from someone anonymous. I assume this has something to do with the disappearance of Kane all the way back at SummerSlam. We've had a few families here in the WWE, so that could mean anything, but... well, these guys, I don't think they're too worried about that right now. They're just happy to be on the same page again. I mean, as happy as Undertaker and Kane can be. There's not exactly smiles on those faces, but deep down inside, I think they're very happy right now. This is as close to healing from the past that these two they have ever gotten, is when they are on the same page as the tag team. That is why it took so much out of Undertaker, clearly emotionally, when Kane was stolen away from him back at SummerSlam. So Undertaker is starting things off against Damien Sandow, and I've got to say, that is a bold decision for Sandow. Okay, Undertaker decided to tag out a Kane. It's just as much of a bold decision, considering Sandow has let on that this was not his idea tonight. This is not what Sandow wanted. He didn't want to pick a fight with the Brothers of Destruction. That was Steiner's choice. I get where Steiner's coming from. I mean, you know, imagine this, right? The whole time you're holding the championship, everyone's just kind of thinking to themselves, well, you know, you are the holder of that championship, sure, but there is an asterisk there. You know, okay, so the Coalition, they won the tag team titles from, I believe it was Edge and Christian, who won them from Jericho. And the thing about that is, going back all that time, you can't help but acknowledge the fact that Jericho never truly beat the Brothers of Destruction. And then through that, Edge and Christian never faced the Brothers of Destruction. Coalition are trying to close that gap and prove we could have beat the Brothers of Destruction all this time ago. But by doing this, they're basically saying, if it was us at SummerSlam, we'd have been tag team champions since then. And whilst they've never faced off against Jericho, because that team imploded, they have beat Edge and Christian on more than one occasion, including in TLC. I don't really know what's happening right now, I'm going to be honest. Scott Steiner with a strike to the back of Kane. What an ominous message that was. I don't know. I don't really know what that means, honestly. WrestleMania is right around the corner, and obviously, perhaps we'll finally get some closure on what happened to Kane all those months ago.
With the championship at stake, you know these superstars will get everything they have to win here tonight.
Someone obviously looking to either reunite with Kane or usher them into their family. I don't know. Big right hand to the chest of Scott Steiner.
We're in the feeling out process here. Who's going to get the advantage
And a belly-to-belly launches him into the barricade. You know, obviously there was an allusion there to the fact that Kane has done something to them, so they return the favor. But the thing is, Kane's has done a lot of things to a lot of people. That doesn't really narrow it down. This guy has built a whole career on severely hurting people. I mean, even CM Punk, someone who I actually felt got a little bit more of a human side out of Kane at one point with the Rebellion all those years ago. It didn't last long. And I tell you, Scott Steiner, he may just be the right guy to hang in the ring with the Brothers of Destruction. That feels crazy to say, but, well, he might. I wonder how King of the Ring would have played out had Edge and Kane not gone to a no contest. I wonder, you know, let's say Kane tapped out to the Hell's Gate, for example. Would Edge have beat... I think I said Edge and Kane. I meant Undertaker and Kane. Would Edge have beat Undertaker or Kane? Either one, really. Would he have defeated them? Would he have gone on to compete in the finals against Diesel? WrestleMania could have been real different if it weren't for the Coalition crashing the King of the Ring tournament. I mean, we could have got a WrestleMania rematch between Undertaker and John Cena for the World Heavyweight Championship, much like those two faced off for the WWE Championship 2 years ago. We don't have unified tag team titles. I don't know what you're talking about. Tag made. Speaking of tag team championships, I got a recent statement. I know I'll have to announce this on NXT as well for anyone who may have missed it, but I have been informed, if you didn't catch this week's episode of NXT, Ted DiBiase decided that he wanted to step up, that doesn't need to prove himself in a tag team match. He's already done that now. So DiBiase has fired King Kong Bundy. I know that's hard to believe, but yeah, he fired him after walking out on him on NXT. He said actually he doesn't feel like living in the shadow of someone else. He deserves to be at the very top, the pinnacle of NXT. So Ted DiBiase threw away his tag team championship reign with King Kong Bundy's Steiner screwdriver. Is this going to be it? I got to focus on this for a second here. Cover attempt of the screwdriver. Only a 1. Wow. But yes, I can announce that the tag team titles have not only been vacated, but we've been told that until the Season 5 reset, they will not be bringing the tag team championships back to current competition as the NXT roster continues to drastically slim down in size. There is no current place for the NXT tag team championships to exist, but they will be back soon. They are just momentarily vacated until the next season. And of course, this comes from all of the recent releases. I believe at the moment NXT's roster is about 10 superstars strong, and there's still potential for more to be dropped as time goes on. And again, this is just an unfortunate part of business. This is just something that happens. Sandow. Oh, clothesline to Kane and Undertaker just staring a hole through Scott Steiner. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Might want to turn away from the ropes, Undertaker. Okay, and then I'm just going to get his feet in the ropes. Well, okay, he's not going to go in for the pin. Fair enough. Tombstone pile driver on Sandow, but he's got to take him away from the ropes. Kane knocking Steiner off the apron. Is this it? No. And remember, Sandow in his own right, he is a former welterweight champion. You're welcome on the Undertaker. This would be massive. This would be huge for the Coalition if they won this. Cover attempt. Oh my god. That was in like slow motion, literally. I thought we were about to see a tag team title retention there. Sandow pinning the Undertaker. I mean, obviously back when Sandow was worldwide champion, there was always that whole situation of like, well, it's a good thing Undertaker and Kane, you know, are the tag champions and so on. We never really saw Sandow have to step foot in the ring with either of these two. He was very safe in his worldwide championship reign. In a sense, anyway. I mean, he was definitely being gunned for by the likes of Triple H and Cena and Henry and, you know, all the other top guys on SmackDown throughout this past season. But big belly to belly there by Steiner, and Undertaker continues to fight back.
These guys are giving it absolutely everything they've got.
And I was going to say, you can expect this main event to go long here tonight. This is obviously a very big deal. I think Steiner and Sandow are starting to really close in on being the longest reigning World Tag Team Champions. Let me have a look at that, actually. I don't think they're quite there yet, but I think they're getting very close. The wiki is up to date, barring Elimination Chamber, so that helps. This will be day 98 of their World Tag Team title reign. The record currently is held by Sheamus and Drew McIntyre, who had, oh no man, they had 224 days. They're not even close. Holy moly. They are the second longest reign though, which is really saying something about the history of the tag titles. They just passed Awesome Truth, who were originally the second longest. Yeah, okay, so these titles haven't had the greatest of reigns, alright? Listen, it happens sometimes. Great move there by Kane. And Sandow continuing to get beaten down here.
Listen to this place come alive and build support for him.
Oh. Sandow absolutely getting laid into by Kane right now. And of course, this is the first time these two have competed in a tag team match, Undertaker and Kane that is, since they lost the World Tag Team Championships in a match in which Kane was removed from. He disappeared during the match. So, technically, they never really lost the tag team titles, is what I'm saying. Oh. Kane, oh boy. Kane going in for the cover there. And, oh my god, what a way for that match to finish. Steiner was just a little too slow, and Sandow got pinned. The Brothers of Destruction are once again the World Tag Team Champions. Naturally. Well, Sandow made it quite clear he didn't want this match. And it was Sandow that got pinned. So, there's going to be some trouble in paradise for the Coalition. They are no longer the World Tag Team Champions. Undertaker and Kane, the Brothers of Destruction, are back on top to close out Friday Night SmackDown. Thank you all for watching. The road to WrestleMania continues. And I'm so curious to see what happens when this family beats whatever awaits them in the future.